It's Tuesday, January 25th, and the talk is live. My Justin Bieber growing up was Rick Springfield. Today, my teenage crush is here. Rick Springfield is hitting our couch live. He was a soap opera heartthrob and a chart-topping musician. Now, he's also an author. We're having the talk with the man who was the first crush of countless young girls. Plus, Regina King, from 227 to Southland to the February Essence magazine cover. How this mom of a teenager is a role model for so many single, working mothers. Let's start talking. We have a serious question. Should you broadcast your marital dirty laundry on YouTube? No. Well, comedian Steve will be right back. Talk. Rick Springfield joins us today. Yes. I love that fans brought his albums, the old vinyls. Now, his biggest song was Jesse's Girl, which talks about his real-life crush on a friend's girlfriend. Now, have any of you ever had a forbidden love, such as a crush on a friend's significant other? Oh, yeah, right? You know what it's like. There's that one guy going, yeah. Here at The Talk, where we ask you at home to join in on what we're talking about today. Rick Springfield is going to join us a little later, and we want to know who was your first celebrity crush. Join us on Facebook or Twitter, which you can link to from thetalk.com, and get in on the conversation. Up next, my teenage idol, Rick Springfield. Is a chart-topping pop star and a soap opera heartthrob who recently added best-selling author to his resume. His memoir, Late at Night, is in stores now. Please welcome father of two, Rick Springfield! Fighting off fans? Is that how you got
No,
that?
I was surfing and a shark. No, it's a rotator cuff accident from an old motorcycle accident, and so that's why I can't play or anything. But it's.
Yeah.
Do I hear sympathy?
Yes, you hear a lot of sympathy.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurts so much. It's so painful. I had a plate in there. In 1980, actually, at the late 80s, I had an album called Rock of Life come out, and I was getting ready to do the tour, and I had this motorcycle accident, so everything was canceled, and they put a plate in there, and so they took that out and fixed all the stuff that was originally broken in the accident. So hopefully I'll be...
Yeah, hopefully it'll get better. I'm dying to know about the 80s. You were this huge rock star, and then... Still is. Clearly still is, but you did retire. I'll get this question out at some point. You did retire to raise your two sons, right? So I want to know what that was like. what it was like retiring.
You have a lot of competition right now.
I do. Do you guys want to do the interview? I want to.
Yeah, don't say that.
I want to know what it was like retiring and raising your two sons.
It was kind of the motorcycle accident kind of started it all, you know. And then my first son was born, and I was at a really low point in my life. Believe it or not, I was at the top of my game as far as success goes. But I was really depressed, and I talk about it in my book about my battle with depression all my life. And so I took some time off to spend time with raising my son, and it turned into years, quite a few years. And the great thing is I have a great relationship with both of my boys now. I'm so this is the thing I'm most proud of, is my relationship with my two sons.
You think that changed you, that being...
Applaud them. They're the awesome ones, really. They're amazing boys. And yeah, it changed me. The great thing about having kids is suddenly you're not the most important thing anymore. And it's such a great relief when you grow up, especially in the entertainment business, when it's, you know, it's all about, you know, how you're doing, how you're looking. And it's great to have something more, someone you take a bullet for, truly. And it was a great relaxer for me. It really helped me figure out what I was about, which is, you know, what I did those 5 years. I went into therapy, I went into very heavy, in-depth Jungian therapy to figure out what I really wanted to do with the rest of my life. This isn't what
part of the
came
plan.
up with, by the way. Little sidestep, yeah.
In the book, you also write about infidelity and how your wife...
Can't talk about that. Shh.
And how your wife, Barbara, and you worked through it together. How did you get through it as a couple?
First of all, I married the most amazing human being in the world, and I wrote an afterward that for the paperback version that's coming out in February that says, if I go early, they'll, you know, as they're lowering me into the ground, I'll be hearing the stampeding of feet of men coming to claim my amazing wife. She's an incredible person. We talked about it. We dealt with it. We came close to divorce a couple of times. We went through therapy. We weighed the options. A lot of our friends, when we first moved to the town we live in now, 20 years ago, 80% of them are divorced and not any happier. So, and in the end, we decided we're better together than we are apart. And that is the bottom line. And it doesn't give me free rein to go and do whatever I want, although she has a complete free pass. If you know, Federer or one of those guys that she really likes shows up, I'm fine with it.
This is on tape, you know.
Just film it.
Okay. No, it's being filmed. It's going out to the airwaves. Barbara's listening.
I want to know, what do you think led you to cheating? You know, what is the psychology behind that?
There's a lot of things. It's growing up in a band, first of all. I was a very retiring person. I mean, at 15, I was playing in a band, but I was playing with my back to the audience. I was very insecure about everything. And the book starts out with me trying to hang myself at 17 because I felt completely alienated from the world. I felt ugly. I felt if I was failing in school, I was failing in everything. And I wanted to play music, and everyone's going, you know, you can't do that. You got to have a career. So I just... Did I mention I have ADD too? Because I'm completely lost now.
No,
what led to the cheating?
Oh, right. Yeah, so... Obviously, you don't have that. So, yeah, so I grew up with sex, you know, from women coming to me, seeing me in a band, and that was how it came about for me.
Made you feel validated.
Yeah, completely, you know, for the 10 seconds.
Right.
I'm done. It really validated me completely, and someone, she likes me, you know, and it became all about that, and so that, and when things, and with Barbara, when we first met, that was the first time in my life, although I'd had girlfriends before, it was the first time in my life that I actually said, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Right. And I could lose her. And so that's really when it started. And by that time I was 29. So it was a habit. I mean, I don't call it a sexual addiction, because to me addiction means I can't help it.
Right, you have no control over it.
I'm sick.
Right,
I'm gonna go to.
Right.
But I do have control over it, and that's been my battle. And part of it's been the depression pushing me too, because I feel I'm worthless, and that gave me a feeling of worth.
Right.
Well, we're going to have much more with Rick
Your arms are
Springfield.
crossed. Am I alienated?
We come right back.
One night.
Welcome back to The Talk. We're having a conversation with actor, musician, and now author, Rick Springfield.
There's a lot of things you can't do with only one hand. Driving, drinking Starbucks and driving, making a phone call, drinking Starbucks and driving, talking the cop out of the ticket after you've seen it doing.
You made a comeback, 5 years after going into retirement. I want to know how that felt to get back out there.
That was really difficult. I was unprepared for it, and I remember I went. The first thing I did actually was go back to an acting class just to kind of get out, because I'd really been a house husband. I didn't go out at all. I absolutely stayed in the house, and I was shaking as I reached up to the wheel of the car to drive to this acting class. It was very hard, and the first time I played in front of people, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know if they'd sit there and go, God, he's really aged. Or if they'd, oh, I remember that song. Right. But it was great. I was screaming and shouting, and the energy was there. And that was a great relief, that we still had the connection.
So what can your fans expect from you next?
Well, we have a cruise coming up. We have a fourth annual Rick Springfield and Friends cruise. It leaves in November from Miami. That has been the most fun thing we do all year. It's incredible. It's absolutely. We wander into the piano bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, and 1,000 people follow us, and we sit there and do songs we've never done before. Kevin Cronin from REO was a musical guest last year, so we're looking. We're not sure who's going to be this year, but some of my soap friends come on, and it's really. We end up playing a concert on the beach. We were in the Bahamas, most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. Absolutely a spectacular time.
Wow.
And the paperback version of the book's coming out. The TV show that we'll be hawking, and also doing a new record.
Awesome.
And more concerts going to Japan and Europe.
Well, we do want to mention that tickets to the annual Rick Springfield and Friends cruise are available at thetalk.com. But
I love you.
Oh, he loves me. Finally, it's reciprocated after all these years. But we do want to mention.
So happy for you.
I know. Aren't you happy for us? I do want to mention that we got an email from one of our fans. Her husband contacted us and said even though his wife hates surprises, he wanted to surprise her. So
someone's really nervous right now.
Yeah.
Well, she is sitting right there. She said, oh my God, Maddie is her name. And we would love for you to come up here and meet Rick Springfield. Bring your stuff. Sit down. Please have a seat, have a seat. Talk amongst yourselves. No, this was a good surprise.
One day ask me.
Oh, my goodness. Well, seeing as how my husband did the surprise, I can't ask you what I really want to ask you. Right now, I just wanted to tell you that I've just been such a huge fan since I was so young. And my dad is sitting over there, and he started driving me to your concerts when I was 13 years old.
Well done, Dad.
All right, we'll let you guys talk, but we want to mention that Rick's book, Late at Night, is in stores now, but everyone in our studio audience is going